episode of Afro Scientific Spirituality. My name is Adaptation West, reaching you live and direct from the heart of Africa. If this is your first time watching me on this channel, you are highly welcome. This is the place where separate the facts from the fiction, any particular and spiritual system. How to practice or the secret of practice African spirituality when you don't find yourself uh, being drawn or see yourself fitted into any of these systems we have out there. And it's very simple, naturally. A lot of people have the problem of finding their place in the practice due to the fact that we have various different type of practice, all talking about the same thing. When it comes to African spirituality, you will see different tribes with their own practice. Some we say we practice in Palo Mayombe. Some we say we are Ifa practitioners. Some we say they are Udinala in Igbo. Some we say they are Igbe in Urobo. Some people we say they are Kemetic spiritualists, or they are Santeria, Udu, Voodoo, Asian Voodoo. Some people we say they practice Queen Banda. Some other people practice Ubanda. There are so many. There are in their hundreds. When you come to a place like Nigeria, every tribe have more than 10 different kind of spiritual systems they practice based on the village that the person come from. Each village practice African spirituality, but they fine tune it to their own understanding of nature. This is how it's supposed to work. Now in the world stage, we have like 10 major spiritual practices: Santeria, Voodoo, Asian Voodoo, Palo Mayombe, Udu, Ubye, Ifa. All these are different practices. So how do you know the one that is best for you? What to do when you don't fit in? A lot of practitioners have asked me this question, that they don't see themselves fitting into any particular system. When they try to get into one system, as they begin to practice it, to learn the nitty-gritties, and before you know, they will meet a roadblock. The system requires some certain things that you cannot do. Maybe this system requires that you must be initiated by a certain priest to achieve a certain level of ascension or knowledge base or enlightenment. You will hit a roadblock that if you don't do certain things, you cannot go beyond this point. Then they will not leave that system, they will jump onto another system. They will start learning how to go through buying materials or trying to observe the rites. They will also meet a roadblock somewhere that until some will say you must come to Africa, come to a certain place, you must come to maybe the land of the birth of Ifa spirituality to come and do a certain ritual. You must come to Oshogbo, or you must go to Ile Ife, or else you cannot go beyond this point. The person will hit another roadblock. The person will not jump into Palo Mayombe. They will tell you need to come to Congo at the end of the day or something. The person will hit a roadblock, or they will have specific things you must buy that you can't access in your country. This is a major problem for practitioners. How do I buy something? Maybe you want to buy that thing. Like me now, there are some things I cannot ship out of Nigeria. I can't ship animal parts, ordinary all stay that is here. I can't even post it. They will say anything animal parts. You can post in the mail. So people that need all stay for something, they cannot have it. They have to fly down and personally buy that thing and fly back to their country, or somebody that is going out of the country, they will give him money. If you are coming, buy this particular item for me before you can take it with them. So you will meet a lot of roadblocks in various practice. So many people have difficulties. I can't fit into this system. I have tried like 4 different systems. I tried to join IFA. I could not complete it. I could not fit in. I tried to join Palo Mayombe. I still could not fit in. I tried to join Igbe. I still could not fit in. Which one? How do I go about this effectively? This is the problem I want to talk about today, how to solve the problem. The way to solve this problem when you find yourself in this kind of situation is to simply develop your own system. This is how many new systems are created in the world today. People create stuff all the time. When you meet a certain obstacle, You find a way to go over the obstacle, or you go around the obstacle, or you shoot your way through the obstacle. So you must do like this. It's not everything that we can achieve or we can seem to acquire in this lifetime. We are not often given all the right deck of cards. You play life with the hand that you are dealt with. In the practice of African spirituality, the main thing that is required is the basic fundamental principles, which focus on ancestral veneration. Once you can get it, say, okay, it's a focus on focusing on my ancestors. I will say you have achieved like 50% of the objective, because it pushes you to focus on your ancestors. Okay, my ancestors, they are the ones that gave birth to me. I need to venerate them. I need to remember them. I need to strengthen that band. That is 50% solved. All the African spiritual system that we have, call it any name, Palo Mayombe to Ifa, to it focus on ancestral veneration and the deities of the land, the original organic deities. You need to know this one first. Now, the other point that when you have gotten this out of the way, okay, I don't venerate other people's ancestors. I need to focus on my ancestors. I need to pray to them. I need to set up my altar and shrine and dedicate it to them. You don't achieve half of the goal. The second half is, how do I study it? How do I know about the practice, the metaphysics, the cosmology, to understand it better, the technology behind the practice? This is what will take your time and energy. So if you have achieved half of that objective, the other part should be easy. They say problem shared and understanding half solved. So what you need to do when you go into a system, and the system, you find out that there are some things that is making it difficult for you to advance in that system, you can substitute your knowledge base or substitute other materials for that thing that is blocking you, or you can create your own systems that will work for you. This is how it is practiced. When you have a system that is working for you, you have to develop on that system and you work with the system. One thing about spirituality, it doesn't need to be very stressful. If you are practicing spirituality, it's like a burden or a yoke on you, whereby it's becoming so expensive and very, very cumbersome to practice, then it's not supposed to be. So I don't see anybody that their ancestors will want to stress them, let them pass through difficulty just to venerate them. They don't, if you have children, I'm sure you will not want to put them in that kind of situation. So your practice should be flexible. It should be easily adaptable. It should be adaptable to modern day realities. The way most of our people practice African spirituality 500, 1,000 years ago, the life is not the same way. Now, that time they don't have much laws. They have access to so many materials. They have freedom to do so many things. Nobody will judge you. Nobody will ask you questions. You just go according to the flow. But now we have so many laws, so many restrictions. We cannot live life like that again. So we adopt the practice to suit modern day realities. So let's say you are living abroad, you live in America, you live in Canada. There are many things that you cannot have access to. You have to look for local substitute of those things. There are plants, herbs, or materials that maybe they use this in a particular rite in Africa, but you cannot find that in America. You must try to look for in your country. When you get those substitutes, you use them. The spell will still work. If you try something, it didn't work, you try another one, it didn't work. Before you try like 3 or 4 times, you will get solution to that very problem that you want to solve. So it's a practice that as you are practicing it, you are learning about nature, you are learning about life, you are learning about your surrounding. It is designed to be like that. It's not designed to be a closed practice. That is one good thing about African spirituality. It should not be a closed practice where everybody must do the same thing. Everybody must follow the same road. The way I was raised and the way I view life is totally different from the next person. Even from, if I am in twin, it's different from that person. It's different from people that live in another continent. The way their reality there is totally different. So you must learn the spirituality based on your reality that you are facing. You have to make the system work for you. That is what I'm trying to say. You must find a way to make the system. Don't say, okay, yeah, maybe in America, Africa, yeah, we don't have problem of racism, discrimination. We can do some certain things. Nobody will ask questions, and we have our own issues here. In America, there's racism. There are certain things we cannot do or say in the public. We must adapt our spirituality to make sure that it works for us to fight against all those things that we are facing there in that country. So you must not say, I have to wait till I get to this particular place. I have to wait for all conditions to be uh, perfect before I do something. You don't need to wait. Just improvise as you go. Improvise. We take things from different cultures, from different spiritual systems, and you use it to develop your own. In my own case now, I will not call myself a full Ifa practitioner. I will not call myself a full Igbe practitioner, because when you say Igbe in my own culture, what those people do most of the time, they dance a lot. You always see them go to do offering and dance, offering and dance. Same thing almost they're doing in Queen Banda. They do a lot of dancing and offering things from morning to night. So somebody will say you don't practice Igbe or Queen Banda because I don't dance regularly. Not that I am shy, I don't just have that time. And the dancing pattern does not fit with my current lifestyle. My own reality I'm facing here is a kind of Nigeria weather hot. Nigeria is chaotic. I don't really have time for dancing much. Nigeria, the way it is, you have to put on your boots and go out there to do things. So my own spirituality is like a fire for fire spirituality. This is not the time for dancing for me. Other people that everything have already been, where they already butter their bread for them, where all systems, everything is working for them. You can be dancing every day. Okay, but now my own is battle for me. Living life here is like a war zone. So I don't have that leisure. Maybe it's my children that will be doing those dancing things, but right now I cannot dance many dance because problem there are many issues to do. There are bills to pay, there are legacies to create, there's awareness to also spread, there's work to be done. So my time is not the time of dance. For some people, their time of dancing has come for them. This is my time of working. So I need to work. I need to do things. I need to do research. I need to put myself out there, do a lot of work to balance a lot of things. So this is not my time like that, but maybe in the future I will dance a lot. So some people will say you don't practice Igbe or you don't practice Queen Banda or something like that. So yes, but I can take elements from those systems and I will use it to create my own system that I use now. So when I go into a particular system, I study it. I take what is useful. I already know the template of the practice. I already got my ancestral veneration. Everything is in check. I already know that there's work to be done. I already know that we need to educate the masses. We need to spread the word. We need to be out there for the people. We need to do things. We need to create awareness. And we need to teach this stuff. I already know all those things. So what I am interested in doing now is to expand the practice, go into the practice, and those things that are hidden, things that people are having difficulty understanding, I try to bring them out, study them, and explain them so that people can use those knowledge, apply those knowledge to improve their life. So this is the part or department or the segment that I am now in now. So I work with a lot of systems. I can plug into any system and I will work with that system. So I create my own way of flowing. I don't just tie myself to a particular practice that I have to abide by every single rules of that practice. I must not deviate. No. If I do like that, I will not grow. I will not be able to expand my body, my knowledge base. I will not be able to expand my influence or my understanding. I will just be in the same place for the next 10, 20 years. And this is not me. This is not the plan of the ancestors for me. This is not where I am. So I will not even be happy doing that. So I have to move forward. If you are in a system, maybe you love to be there. You want something that is permanent, something that is stable. You can do it like that. It's your choice. They say not be The waiting you like now you dey do, like the way you make your bed, adapt your practice. When you already have the foundation, say, okay, there are many things that we don't have in this country. What do I have with you? Look at your environment. What kind of spirits are controlling this environment? Each environment is different. Some people live near the sea, some people live near the river. If you live near the sea and river, you say, okay, I have to be working with water elementals or water deities. It is a very good thing. If you live in the desert, you know that, so you need to be working with solar deities or earth elementals. You focus on them. If you live in a place where there is snow, you need to be working with the spirits that are there. Any country that you are in, there's a certain kind of prevailing environment, that atmosphere. I call them the dwellers of the land, the original inhabitants, the spirits or the elements that you find bountiful in that place. You will have to adapt your practice to interwove with them so that you can be working with them to maximize your effectiveness or your productivity or your connection with the land. So you must not say, okay, I'm living near the sea, then I'm focusing on desert deities much. It does not really make sense. The place that you are living, focus on those spirits that are around there. If you are living near the jungle, or work with those spirits, in that case, you'll be focusing on deities that are in charge of plants, minerals, and herbs. You'll be focused on those kind of spirits. Depending on the prevailing spirits that are in that place, those are the kind of spirits you're working with. Okay, so you need to adapt your practice to the environment that you are in. Incorporate also your ancestors into the practice, and you'll just blend in. Find a way to blend in, and you will see that it will be working well for you. So you must not just say, okay, since I live here in a country, I must be in this particular practice. Everything that they say I must be doing, that is the only thing. You have to evolve your spirituality. You evolve it to meet modern day realities. You evolve it to blend with what we have in now. Now we're using internet to communicate. I am here now in Nigeria using the internet. You're watching me. I have evolved my practice using modern day technology. In those days, maybe 100 years, 200 years back, this is not possible. We cannot be able to talk online in real time like this and sharing this knowledge, connecting. But now I have upgraded the practice by using modern day technology. You get this information real time. We see each other. We can be able to exchange ideas, that kind of thing. So whatever you are doing, find a way to blend it into your lifestyle. Blend it into your lifestyle, because my lifestyle is different from yours. So things that is easy for me to do may be difficult for you to achieve, and things that are difficult for easy for you is also hard for me to achieve. So we must find a way to meet the practice in common ground. If you look at other spiritual practice, they are doing the same thing. Look at the Chinese people, it's all about their own ancestral veneration. Japanese people, the same thing. Indian people, the same thing. Even the so-called Christians, the same thing. But what they were able to do, they have tricked you to throw your ancestors away and start worshiping their ancestors and start venerating their ancestors and giving them money to power their spiritual system. So this is what they have succeeded in doing. Same thing with the Arabs. You now live your own time. Your ancestors are worthless. It doesn't matter. You start sending your money, your tithes, your energy to them to power their own system. So when you give all your attention and energy to these foreign religions, who will now power your own system? You see, the energy is supposed to use to power your own system to make it work for you. You are not doing it, so your own spirituality will not be dying. While theirs will be growing, will be rising, thanks to you helping them to let it grow. So you have to reverse that thing. That's why I teach about African spirituality. We are the batteries that we will use to power our reality. You need to start focusing on yourself more, creating your own systems. If you practice Udu, okay, they are hit a roadblock, connect, you jump that roadblock, create a system around it, and power your own ancestors, power your own spiritual development and growth, and you keep expanding your consciousness, expanding your reality, pushing your will into nature, making sure that the next generation they carry on the legacy, to carry on the practice. most important thing that is there. Then the metaphysics, of course, which you will be learning little by little, how to do things, how to do spell casting, how to do spell work, how to do offering, how to do certain things to mix herbs. It's just like general science, the kind of science that teach us in schools, physics and chemistry, biology. You have to learn all these things from a pure African, Afrocentric perspective. This is what we are studying here. This is the body of knowledge that we are here to do. So don't stuck on one practice. If somebody is stressing you, telling you must do this, why most people create those kind of roadblocks? They create it to protect their knowledge base, which may be a good thing and a bad thing. You can call it gatekeeping. They also create it for financial gain. Of course, African spirituality needs money to survive. I've emphasized this. So maybe it's a way for them to want to protect to generate income to survive their practice. Even me, I'm having that problem. When I first started practicing, I discovered that, oh, there's so much work to be done. And we need funds. How do we generate these funds? People don't really care about African spirituality, especially in Nigeria. In Africa, they believe in Christianity. They can give all their money to pastor, but they will not give any little thing to African spirituality. We need to create safeguards to generate income to keep the practice alive. You can use your personal income if you have enough. If you don't have enough, you push your talent into the practice to generate income for you. I have said this often time. If you're an artist, a musician, somebody that is a sculptor, or anything that you are doing, use your talents to promote the practice. In my own case, I write books, I do research, I sell a lot of spiritual items. I need to find a way to sustain the practice, to sustain my practice too, so that I can keep it alive. I can expand my body of knowledge or whatever. You must find a way to do this. If not, you will hit lots of roadblocks. When you hit a lot of people coming to African spirituality, they don't understand the concept. Then they start hitting roadblocks there. In order for them to survive, they will start saying, okay, they are running into scams, deceiving people, lying, telling I can solve all problems and this and that. No, you cannot. If anybody is telling you this, that person may probably be lying to you. There's a lot of practitioners that everybody in life have problems. Even the so-called billionaires, they have problems they cannot solve. If you ask Elon Musk, and I believe he has problems he has not been able to solve. So you see practitioners having problems, and they feel they can solve up. No. We work it out together. Okay? We have to learn our own lessons by ourselves. My lesson I'm learning here is different from your own lesson. You have to allow people learn their lessons sometimes. Not all problems can be solved. Even if you practice African spirituality, for those people coming in because they want to solve problems, some problems may need to be solved by you. Some problems may need to be solved by you changing your own attitude about life. There are some things we may not just be able to achieve. We have to let it go. Abandon that project and start a new project. There are some people will come, so I want this person in my life. It must be this person. If the universe says you cannot have that person, there's nothing you can do that will make you have that person. You need to look for somebody else. And life goes on. We cannot all have everything that we want in life. Prosperity, understandings, with the head, with your children or your loved ones. Nobody can take away that connection from you. Focus on strengthening that connection. There's a lot of power in strengthening that connection. Focus on it. Focus on the little things. We can't change the world, but if we change ourselves, our world will change. We need to look at it like this. So don't worry about the system that I must practice this system. Some people will come to say, my system is the most powerful. You need to come into this system. If you are not here, you are missing out. All systems are the same. According to me, it's the energy that you plug into it that will give you the results. The energy, your dedication that you put into the practice. You can take spell from one practice and still use the spell in your practice, and the spell will still work for you. The spell will not say, okay, because you are not an IFA practitioner, it will not work. The same work that Panadol will do for you in America, the same Panadol will still do it for you in Nigeria. It's supposed to cure headache or body pains. So, don't be afraid to take stuff from other systems and put it in your own practice. Create your own system. You must create your system, and if your system is working for you, you know that yes, your system is, you're on the right path. I've been traveling around different countries in the world. I've lived in Asia for about 15 years. All this time I was practicing my African spirituality. I go to a place, I use materials that I will find in that place to create my own altar, and I work with those materials. Anywhere I go, people practice spirituality there. I will look at the stuff that they have. I will take the stuff and I will be using them for my own practice. Then they sell candle for every country now. Then they sell incense for every country. Then they sell spiritual oils for every country. So whether the right Hare Krishna put, or the right Buddha put inside, or the right, you still use them for your own practice too, and it will work for you. Who now only for yourself. You go still use them for your own African spirituality. It will work for you. If you not get meditation bead, I tell people, if you cannot find meditation bead to buy, you can't find 108. You can use rosary or Muslim bead as a meditation bead to your own African ancestors, and you will still get where you are going. So you can take materials from other system and use it in your own practice to still give you solid results. Okay, you must not say no, I must have to wait until I get this particular thing, except you have that luxury of time and resources. But if you don't have that luxury of that time and resources, please, by all means, use the systems, use the materials that you can find in your neighborhood, and use it in your practice, and your practice will still work. The main essence is that you are focusing on your ancestors and you're focusing on your deities. All your prayers are made in the name of your ancestors and your deities. That is the difference. Where your attention is, your energy goes. This is how it is. Use that energy that you have, that resources that you have. Focus it on the right place. You target it on the right place and you will get results. So you can adapt any system to your own reality and make it work for you. You are the generator at the end of the day. You are the what we call 0 point energy. You are the source. You are the platform. It is you that is the battery that will power the system. You can have the 5 elements in place. The 5th one is you. The 5th element is your spirit, the energy that you put into the ritual, the intention, the focus, and the direction that you give it to push that energy to where you want it to go. So you are the 5th element. So all the other things that you put around you doesn't matter. The focus is you. Where you push it to is what matters. So don't worry about the system, that it must be this system, it must be that system. You are the system. Okay? At the end of the day, it is what you tell the ancestors is what they are going to do. It is your will or your intentions or what you want that is what really matters for you, not what anybody is saying out there. So don't listen to other people. Focus on yourself. Focus on developing a working system. Use what you have. You can use what you can anywhere you find yourself. Even if it's a concrete jungle, you can create a system that you can use. Develop it right inside that concrete jungle. You'll be doing your magic there, and everything will be working in harmony with you. You just need the right focus and do the things that you need. Okay, so creating your system is very important, and I would want to recommend this, that don't restrict yourself. Use stuff that you have in your neighborhood. Find that stuff. Find out, do research. When you discover something new, you find out what the people use it for. They will tell you. You find out what you can also use it for in yourself. If it's plant, it's herb, and you use it for your own practice, and you mix it with your own herb. Call the name of your ancestors and the name of your deities, and run with it. If you don't have access to 3 road junction, by all means you have your back of door. By all means you have your gates. By all means you have other systems that you can use. There's sun shining everywhere. There's moon everywhere in the world too. There's sand everywhere in the world. There's water everywhere. So this is the things that I want to say on this channel. I believe that 1 or 2 people will get 1 or 2 things from this. So don't worry about stressing yourself if you're living abroad. Try to improvise. Study about the minerals and the plants, and always try to gain access to the local people living in that land, and study how they practice their own spirituality. Your indigenous people in that land, try to find out about them look for the elements that they use in their own practice and incorporate those elements into your practice too. It will also help you a lot. So if you are living in America, try to study how the Red Indians do their rites. If you're living in some part of the world, maybe in Asia, try to study how these people do their own rites there too. And use some of those elements in your practice of your African spirituality, and it will be fine. So this is where I will stop today. Questions or comments are welcome. Please like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, and when you subscribe, endeavor to hit the all notification button so that you'll be the first to get my videos as soon as I release them. And of course, if you have not gotten any of my books, you have been watching me for some time, you need to get my books. So they are full with a lot of knowledge. This is the latest one on ancient African spirituality, ancient sacred Urhobo spirituality. In this book, I talk about how the spirituality of the Urhobo people from the Niger Delta area of Nigeria is practiced. This is the tribe that I am currently affiliated to in this incarnation. And we have the connection to the ancient Benin Empire. In fact, we migrated from the ancient Benin Empire to start our own system. I talked about the history of these people, the history of their migration, their worldview, their cosmology, the way they do things, and the deities, two major principles that they venerate before the inception of Christianity, which is Olokun and the Ogun. Olokun is the mother of nature, mother of the many waters, the lady with many steps, the primordial mother of the African race. I talked about her in this book. I also talk about Ogun, the god of iron, war, and blood and technology. You need to know about this deity. I focus more on Ogun in this deity. And in this book, I talked about how to connect with the spirits, how to create your altars, the elements, how to work with them. I also talked about how to create a sacred tree, an original, organic, altar that you can use to fuse with nature. I talked about that one. I talked about the Urhobo people's point of view of nature, and I also put in 210 spells that will help you, simple spells that you can do from any part of the world that will increase your knowledge about African spirituality. So with this book, you can be able to start your practice, set up your shrine, set up an altar, and connect with these deities, and also know a lot of spells that you can do to help yourself, to help people. So this book will help you a lot. It's a very powerful book. It is designed to give you to connect you with that deep recess, that energetic fountain of limited melanated energy, which we call the consciousness of the Black Panther. In African spirituality or in African culture, we use the symbol of the Black Panther to represent the deepest aspect of our spiritual essence, that undying energy, that life force that is animating the African people. It is symbolized by the panther, and the black one, the black cat, they call Ologboshere. So this book is designed to give you that knowledge of invincibility, of power, of wisdom. So if you are looking for this wisdom as an African person, I have been able to codify it in this book for you. So this book solves many problems. With the knowledge in this book, it will help you to understand many things about our African spirituality. It is designed to empower you. Okay, so please get your copy. Don't waste time. Yeah, we need to revive the practice to make African spirituality cool again. So the knowledge, I wrote all this book with the direction of the ancestors or the inspiration, so that people can have the knowledge and they can see the benefits of African spirituality. This one is plasma physics and African spirituality. In this book, I talked about the plasma ring, which is the first state of matter. In science, they will tell you there's something they call matter. And they will tell you matter can be defined as anything that have weight and occupy space. And it's made up of solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. Right now, I'm in solid state of matter. Water is liquid state, then gas is the gaseous state. The plasma state is the spirit world. It's made of plasma particles, or what they call photon particles or light particles. These are things you don't see with the naked eye. There's a fourth state. So that fourth state I talked about it. And what is inside that fourth state? The things that are inside there are those things that we call deities, ancestors, ghosts, spooky things, unlimited energy. So your sun that you see every day is the light we have in this earth, in this universe. Without the sun, there will be no life, there will be no us. So ancient Africans know this science from time immemorial. That is why they worship the sun. They call the sun Ra or Amen. When you say Amen in your Christian prayer, you say Amen in a Muslim or anything, you giving glory, final authority to this large ball of plasma energy out there. Now, what they call Amen in ancient Egypt or ancient Africa is the hidden spirit behind the sun, the intelligence of the sun, what we call the soul of the sun, or the spirits that is behind that sun. Because in African spirituality, we believe everything has a spiritual part. So we venerate that spirit, that intelligence that have it in him to create life, to give life purpose, to express life in us. This thing is alive. That is why we ourselves are alive today. So inside this plasma ball, there's the way it generates its energy is very, very unique. Ancient people have been able to study it, and they have been able to create their own miniatured sun or generators that they call plasma fusion generators or reactors. So with these plasma fusion reactors, this is what they use to create unlimited energy, what you call nuclear reactors. Now plasma fusion we talk about here. It is from the fourth state of matter, from the spirit world. So this book was able to clearly explain it from an Afrocentric perspective and tell you how this is done. In this book, I did a lot of deep research. This book took me almost more than 5 years to write. I studied works of plasma physicists from Germany, from Russia, from America. These are the top people at this knowledge. I trace it all the way back to ancient Africa, all the way back to ancient India, and I bring it to the modern day reality. I put in a lot of evidence. So you need to know about this knowledge, because this is what we take us to the next generation. Now we are talking about space age, Elon Musk and Virgin Atlantic, talking about creating plasma fusion rocket engines. These are engines that don't need refueling. They recycle their energy. So with this kind of engines, you can build a spacecraft that can run for all eternity, because it doesn't need fuel. This is the next level of our human evolution, so that we can fulfill our destiny of space explorers, taking life from this our planet to go to other empty planets and give life to those planets. We become God in human form. We fly there with light speed, carry things from here, carry plants, carry people. We go to a planet that have oxygen and we give life to that planet. We become gods. Very simple stuff. But religion, the witchcraft religion of Christianity, Islam and Judaism have been pressing people down on this planet, making people to be dull, holding our destiny down, because they want to make money by enslaving this planet. They don't want this knowledge to free humanity. So they are fighting against this knowledge. Instead of using it to do the positive thing, they are using it to create nuclear bombs, to be threatening other people, to be putting other people in tension. This is the truth. So this knowledge, you can use it to do so many great things. So this book exposes you to Plasma Physics 101, understanding it from a pure Afrocentric perspective. So if you want to know about this subject, now the book be this. Buy and read them. But before you understand these subjects, you need to know about quantum physics. Quantum physics is the precursor of plasma physics, because you need to pass through the quantum rim to the plasma rim. Now the quantum rim talks about the visible and invisible states of particles of the world. That is the atom. When you go beyond the atom, you go to the plasma rim. So quantum physics and plasma physics go together. So you need to get it too, to understand it holistically and completely. In this book, I talk about melanin, what they call dark matter consciousness. A lot of people don't know it. I talk about 666 configuration of 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, which is the chemical composition of carbon. I talk about a good round unified God Almighty theory, what it stands for. I talk about negative space. I talked about ghost DNA. I talked about the origin of Christianity, how the proliferation of Christianity is affecting us today. I talked about time and space travel, black magic. and how to create a negative space, the evil forest, how to create a positive space, and classification of deities. I put in a chart for classifying and studying African deities. So this book will help you understand many things. So if you don't have these two books, you must get them. As a practitioner of African spirituality, you must know what is inside these two books. Is very, very important and imperative that you know this stuff, because if you don't know them, then I don't know what you're doing here in the practice. So I don't know if you don't know what you did this book. To be honest, I don't know what you do for this practice. Maybe better you do something else, because we don't have time to waste here. There's work to be done, and there's knowledge to be shared. So please get those books. Try your best to get them. When you buy the books, you're helping African spirituality to grow. You're increasing your knowledge base. You're pushing the consciousness of the planet forward, and we connecting organically with the practice. The knowledge is inside you, is here. We need to find a way to interface with it. So we need to open all these gates inside ourselves so that we can see reality for what it really is. So there will be no time wasting. You don't need to waste your time on this planet doing things that does not serve you. There's work to be done, please. So we need to prepare for the next best thing to come, which is the rise of consciousness, spiritual evolution, or something like that. This one is a walk in the shadow of the gods. In this book, I talked about herbs, how to mix herbs and compounds to do spells. You need to know about some certain powerful herbs that are very, very active. I also put the botanical names, so it's easy for you to get it. Please buy this book. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than to be a gardener in a war. So it's better you buy this book and don't need it. Just keep it there. Nothing will do it than say you need this book. You're not going to get them. Now it was person. So this one is waiting. If you have not gotten any of this book, get them. The last but not the least, Whispers of Amente, Pathways to Ascension. In this book, I talked about some major principles or deities in Africa that you just cannot ignore. You need to know them, understand how it works and why they are here, whether you Muslim or Christian. These are principles of nature. I talk about the principle of decision making, which is issue, the principle of the crossroad. People call this principle of Babalegba, Elegbara. We make decisions every day. Some people call it equity or ekati. You need to focus on making positive decisions that will bring your life forward. So you need issue. Issue is not Satan. Okay, it's a principle of the past, present, and future. To make accurate decisions in your life, you need to look at the past, compare it with the present, and project it into the future. So issue is something that is part of us. You must predict life, you must understand life, you must have wisdom. Issue is the deity of wisdom, Tehuti, Shehuti. You cannot ignore wisdom in your life. You say, no, I will run away from wisdom. I don't know where you wrong go. Anybody that runs away from wisdom is running into stupidity and ignorance. And you will meet the reward for doing that. So embrace this deity from your own perspective, from your African perspective. So do not be afraid of your own spirit. Do not be afraid of your ancestors. I also talk about the principle of death regeneration. Everybody must still die, including me. So make peace with the deity of death. You see represented in Santissima Morite, which is also Ampu. Whether you like it or not, you go still die. Whether you're rich or poor, you go still die. So know about this deity, know about the principle of reincarnation, the principle of death and rebirth, and make peace with it. I also talked about principle of prosperity. Amenra once again is here. The sun, everything about the sun, you need to know why the sun is what it is. I also talked about deity of destruction, which is Set. Set, the prototype of Satan. You need to know we humans are capable of creation and destruction. So these major principles, they are here. I talked about the Ori. I talked about the Hank. I covered many powerful topics here. So please get this book. It's a workbook. I put in so many spells that will help you to liberate yourself, connect yourself to the practice. With this book, you don't need to really travel to stress yourself about getting this knowledge. Just read the book, follow what is inside. Or if you don't want to follow it, just know what is inside at least. So knowledge is power. So African spirituality should be focused on power and spiritual development, maturity, growth, evolution. It doesn't matter where you are in this world. It doesn't matter what you practice. What matters is your level of spiritual maturity, organization. Are you really making a difference? Are you putting yourself in the place that will be beneficial for you or something? We need this. This is what we need. For me, or my own opinion, so that we will not waste our time beating around the bush in this planet. We'll just do what we need to do. So any practice you are, whether you are in Quimbanda, Santaria, Palo Mayumbi, or Ifa, or Igbe, or Dinala, you need knowledge. You need this knowledge. Now the knowledge be the main thing, not be the power. So please take advantage. Don't feel, some people will say, oh, I'm too big. Put yourself down to learn. There's this saying in the English book that she stooped to conquer or something. Humble yourself to learn. Even me, I learn every day. The things I don't know, I learn it. We must keep growing. You cannot say I have reached this highest level. I don't need to know anything anymore. Everything is working. No, no, no. There is still things to be done. Please, we still need to learn some new things. So if you don't have this knowledge, try to add them to your arsenal, or at least know what it is inside, so that we can discuss about it. So this is what I believe African. So this is what is supposed to represent for us. Development, knowledge, and the rest. So when you practice in your African spirituality, any system, create your own system. Let it work for you. Create your system, and as far as it's working for you, continue to develop and advance it. So I think I will stop here today. Questions or comments are welcome as usual. Please like and share the video. Then if you also want to buy your spiritual items from Cowries or Native Shock or Miracle Stone, Blackstone, Thunderstone, your meditation beads, your perfumes, your herbs, or alligator pepper, all those things, I sell them on this channel. My website is River of Knowledge. If you also want to do your Oracle Tarot divination, I do that. You want to learn African spirituality, I still teach it from the history to the metaphysics to the hardcore spirituality. You can sign up on this channel. Apart from that, I thank you very much, and of course I'll be seeing you all in the subsequent videos as usual. So take care and bye. Peace.